guys, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Catherine B. Woo! And she sent me this beautiful custom notebook, HOH Big Brother Canada. Isn't that so freaking sweet? That's this year's Big Brother Canada notebook. I love it, and it has the tiny lines that I love. Yeah, it's gotta be college ruled. Alright, but Catherine, seriously, thank you so much for your support. You're awesome. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Lucy's going crazy over there. Alright, so yesterday, Cass and Gary had a big game chat. These two are getting very close, and Gary came up with a little name for them. He's calling them the tortoise and the hare because he's taking it really slow, which I think is working for him because he's not really on anybody's radar right now. And Cass is going way too fast. She is on overdrive, just like she was last season, but right now she doesn't have Tim to pull her back in and smooth things over for her. So I don't know how long Cass is going to be around, but we'll see. But anyway, they feel like the vet alliance is donezo. You think? I mean, seriously. You guys couldn't even vote together the first week. It's done. It's done. So then they were talking about what's going to happen this week. It's looking like Emily and Dylan will be up on the block. And Dylan is definitely, like, I guess, well, at first glance, he's the bigger threat. Who knows if he actually is or not. But they kind of want Emily to go instead of Dylan because Gary's thinking that with Emily gone, Dylan will latch on to him. And they think that they'll have him in their back pocket. So they want him to stick around. But Cass is saying that she would love to see Bruno go up as the replacement nominee this week and get rid of him. But then they don't really get Dylan because he'd still have Emily, but whatever. Cass is really freaking out about Bruno. She wants to get rid of him yesterday. So Gary's like kind of into it, but he warns her like, don't push that too hard with Dimitri right now because it's a little bit early to be really aggressive about getting rid of somebody like Bruno. So anyway, Dimitri, Dylan, and Emily were chatting in the HOH room last night, and Dimitri lets them know, you guys are going up on the block. Sorry. So, first of all, they're just like, well, are you sure, like, you can't put up somebody else? And he's just like, it's you guys, alright? I'm not changing my mind, sorry. So then Dylan is like, well, what if the veto is used? Like, who would go up on the block? And Dimitri's like, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But Dylan keeps pushing. He's like, well, we could put Karen up there. You know, a lot of people are having problems with her. And it's true. She is pissing a lot of people off. So then they all discuss how Karen is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. And I don't know. I mean, she is a possible replacement nominee. She did put Dimitri up on the block last week. So then Cass is trying to work Dimitri. She's talking to him on her own, and she's like, yeah, so last week, remember when the vote almost flipped? Remember how it was 7-6 and you barely stayed? Bruno and Kevin were the ones that were trying to plant that, you know, to flip that vote. So she is planting some seeds right now, some seeds of doubt, and Cass is saying again, like, I'd be nervous if Bruno won HOH, especially during a double eviction. She's really paranoid that he's going to be coming after her. So then Dimitri's like, yeah, those guys have been trying to smooth things over with me. They're definitely on the evict Dylan train right now, but they could just be saying that to please him. Who knows what they actually want. But Cass is just trying to, you know, throw Bruno's name out there a little bit. She was also trying to get a lot of the newbies to go up there and suggest it to Dimitri as well, and they were just like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. No, I don't want to. Ah. Alright, so then it was time for the nomination ceremony, and as expected, Dimitri nominated Dylan and Emily. Oh, wow. Alright, more importantly, we missed some freaking Dallas and Karen drama while the feeds were off. We missed all the good stuff. I mean, really. So remember before the season started when Dallas was doing all his pre-show interviews and he said that he wasn't going to be a hothead this season? That's hilarious. Come on, we knew that was only going to last a few days. Dallas is freaking losing his mind already. We're not really sure who started this confrontation. They're both claiming that the other did. So Karen's telling everyone that Dallas was walking by her and he mumbled like, oh, Canada hates you. And then Karen was like, Dallas, you're just mad because you didn't get your way this week. And Dallas responded, the week isn't over yet. Ah! All right, so then Dallas is telling his side of the story to Cindy. He's getting all worked up when he's telling her what happened. So he says, I never started it, like Karen's this psychopath liar, and he said that Karen lied to Mark last week because she promised him safety during the first HOH comp. Then she turned around and put him up and he got voted out. You know, Dallas does have a point. She did say, like, oh yeah, if you guys drop, you'll be safe. But Karen is claiming that Mark dropped before they solidified the deal. It sounded a little bit shifty. But anyway, Cindy's like, I really don't want it to look like we're bullying Karen. Like, how awful would that be for all these 20-somethings to be bullying a 53-year-old woman? So Dallas is like, she's the one bullying us. So he brings up how she made the "that's why all you veterans lost your seasons" comment, and she called Kevin a snake. She called Dimitri a dum-dum. And it's just not cool. She may have said all those things, but let's be clear, like, I haven't seen anyone in this house be bullied this season. I think people tend to misuse the term bullying. Come on. She's not bullying anybody, and nobody's bullying her at this point. But anyway, let's talk about strategy. Let's move on from that. Cindy and Kevin were having a strategy chat in the have-not room, and Kevin's like, yeah, I'm all good with Dimitri at this point, because he did vote Dimitri out last week. But he's saying he cleared things up, he smoothed things over with him, so they're all good now. And Cindy's like, yeah! She's super excited about it, because she wants to put together an alliance of 6, which would include herself, Kevin, Ika, Netta, Bruno, and Dimitri. So yeah, we're going to come back to that. But first, Ika and Kevin were trying to build some trust because there is some weirdness between Ika and Kevin. I don't think they really know each other that well, and there's just a lot of distrust there. So Ika's like, you know what, I want to trust you because Netta and Cindy do, and I really trust them. You know, I'm going to believe what they say. So Kevin's like, yeah, that's great. I hope we can get to a point where we actually trust each other because we trust each other, not because of other people. Yeah, that would be nice, right? But they also do have mutual friends on the outside, fellow vets like Neha and I think Sarah Hanlon. So they're like, yeah, we should really try to make this work. So then Ika shares some information. She lets Kevin know that Cass wants to backdoor Bruno this week. And Kevin is basically just like, well, that's like all the info we need right there to know like this Veterans Alliance is over. We can go after people who aren't in our group like Cass, Dallas, and they didn't really say Gary, but he's not really with them at this point. But they agree, Cass and Dallas definitely together. So they're thinking we should probably backdoor Dallas this week if the power of veto is used. They think that would be a really good move. I mean, I agree, because I think Dallas is definitely going to try to come after them at some point. At the same time, though, I think that Cass would definitely turn on them before Dallas would. Right? Yeah, I think so. So then, Cindy, Netta, Bruno, and Dimitri join them in the have-not room. So that is the group of 6 that was mentioned earlier. They solidify their alliance, and, you know, they have the hands in, woo! And then they kept saying, like, oh my god, this is so random. So weird, like such a weird group of people. Isn't that random though? I mean, come on. You got 5 freaking vets and 1 newbie, and that newbie just so happens to be the HOH this week. Isn't that random though? I would not want to be the sole newbie aligned with 5 vets. Come on now. Anyway, they're all giddy about this alliance they formed. They think they've got, you know, they got a pretty good handle on the game right now. And Netta's like, guys, chill out. We can't get cocky because the fans hate that. And she's so right. Who doesn't hate a cocky alliance like that? Anyway, last night was the first night for the have-nots in their new, beautiful have-not room. And just a reminder, the have-nots this week, we've got Ika, Cindy, Cass, and Emily. So they didn't get much sleep last night. It was rough going. I think Ika was trying to sleep with her back against the bones in the middle part. So, like, it just sounds awful. I can't even imagine that. But everybody else was, like, ugh, trying to, like, squeeze in those little parts, you know, in between the ribs. But, ugh. All right, so this morning, they picked the players for the power of veto. That freaking phrase is always such an issue to say. There's so many P's in that sentence. But anyway, we've got Dimitri, the HOH, the 2 nominees, Emily and Dylan. And then we have 3 extra players, Netta, Dre, and Karen. So Dylan's feeling pretty good at this point because he's like, oh, it's just like all these girls. And then Dimitri, like, I totally got this. I could do it. So Emily and Dylan were chatting about the upcoming power veto competition. Emily asked Dylan, what should I do if I win the power of veto? Should I take you off? Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? She should be evicted just for saying that. Oh, I hate when people say that shit. So then she's like, I don't want to be here without you. Are you freaking serious? It's week 2. Just get out. Get out. Okay. Don't worry, Minnie. She's upset because I'm yelling. Okay, so then she's saying, you know, she hopes that if she does win the power veto and she uses it on Dylan, that Dimitri would put up Karen in his place. She thinks she's got a pretty good chance to stay against Karen. Just leave. Just get the F out. Alright, so then the feeds go down for a few hours. Everybody thinks it's the power veto competition. It wasn't. It was some sort of task. And I think it was some sort of tie-in as well with Oreos, who must be a sponsor. So it sounds like Dre wanted an advantage in the power veto competition during this task. We'll see how she does with it. I don't know. So then, I do know, but we'll get there. So then, Ika is already having doubts about this alliance of 6 that was just freaking established. She doesn't trust Bruno or Kevin. Netta and Cindy are trying to reassure her, and it seems like it's gonna be okay. They're like, no, these guys are like meat shields for us. It's gonna be fine. But then later, Cass and Ika were chatting in the have-not room, and Cass is just spreading more paranoia about Bruno and Kevin. So I don't know if Ika was buying it or what, but it kind of seemed like it. So then Netta came in, and, you know, there's still that tension between Netta and Cass. Ika is trying to build a bridge there between the two of them. And again, they kind of like fake up. I just don't see it sticking, you know. Right now, they're like, yeah, we're going to work together, and it's going to be great, girl power. I don't see Cass and Netta ever actually working together. It's just not going to happen. So then a little while later, the feeds actually did go down for the power veto competition, and I don't know the details of the comp yet, but Dylan won. So I'm assuming he's going to take himself off, and then, I don't know, are they going to backdoor Dallas? There's been a lot of talk about that. You know, Dallas and his crew are pushing for Karen to go up, but Dimitri and his newly formed alliance seem to want Dallas to be the replacement, so it's going to be interesting. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until tomorrow, much love.